Welcome, welcome, welcome to the ZodyacStar Podcast. This is episode number 7. And today our topic is going to be on grounding, groundedness, grounded. Who remembers being grounded?
All that from the parents and shit. You know how many times you had to stay in your goddamn bedroom and you go to your room, you're grounded, not knowing we would fucking need that down the line. Like that was actually what we needed to be doing. But apparently, we got used to not want to be grounding because we always used to be grounded. So we don't want to ground because we always grounded. I was like, I've been grounded. I'm not doing this shit now. Everybody wants to fuck it. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
And the funny thing is, we used to run outside barefooted. For those people that were outside, we used to run outside barefooted, climb trees barefooted. I remember one of my most fondest memories is of me, my father, and my brother. We would climb a tree and just sit there and talk about silly, stupid stuff. And to this day, my father still climbs trees, not realizing that he is actually grounding his energy. And for him, that's very important because he has PTSD. Speaking of trees, we're so caught up in trying to ascend and trying to grow and trying to reach the highest of the highest heights. And we're just like, la, 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 just floating in the wind because we're not grounded. How do you think a fucking tree grows that tall and that strong? It puts its roots down first. So while you're on this spiritual journey and you're trying to get to the highest heights, think about those big ass trees from back in the day that would reach the top of the firmament. Of course, they cut them bitches down, but anywho, the blueprints are here. Nevertheless, in order for them to reach that height, they were firmly rooted and grounded. And so many people in the spiritual community are only focused on sharing the information on how to ascend, how to reach your highest version of yourself. And they're not reminding you that every step that you take, you have to ground it. Because in order to go up, you got to go down first. In every aspect. In order to go up, you go down first. We had just watched a video talking about, of course, your spinal column, because we know that's like in the scriptures, it's called Jacob's ladder. In order to get to see God, which is in your pineal, once that sacred oil gets up there, you can't start from the fucking top. You got to go from the bottom and bring it up. You have to be firmly rooted before you can ascend that tall, that high, that wide. Gotta be fucking grounded. For me, I have a lot of air energy, a lot of air and a lot of ether. So if I don't ground my ass, I'ma always be in my head, over fucking thinking. So being outside in nature for me is very peaceful. I feel at home in nature. I feel at home in them goddamn trees. I feel at peace there. That's one way to ground. If you can't sit your ass still, like me, because of too much wind, walk outside. That's grounding too. Walk barefooted. It's been scientifically proven not just to aid you physically with removing toxic energy, with removing too much, electrons, if I'm not mistaken? When you got too much negative energy, if you're grounding, that helps to balance that. It returns it back to Mother Earth so that she can properly alchemize it. If you like going to the beach, let the ocean, the salt water do it. Salt water is very cleansing. Very cleansing. An ancient Egyptian practice was that they washed their faces in the morning in salt water. And That's very important, because we forget that when we're asleep, we leave this vessel and go either back to our higher selves, or we travel the cosmos, the astros. And so we can pick up negative energy from there and bring it back down into our vessel. So purifying your face in the rising should be a ritual, but even better yet, using salt water to purify your face in your new day is important. But grounding is even more so important to help you maintain your internal balance.
I don't want them to miss the point. See, a lot of people, you would think when you think about grounded outside of, you grounded, motherfucker, go to your room. Outside of that shit. Like, you probably heard it in that tone and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing of grounded is people is like, okay, let's go walk on the grass barefooted, which is very common. But like Star said, did you know that grounding in the sand with salt water or the ocean or water in general, the water amplifies the grounding. So technically speaking, it's more amplified and stronger, and the first most powerful style of or way to ground is with water and sand over earth because of the water minerals. As you know, water is a conductor too. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you're not about to get electrocuted in the bathtub. You've seen that plenty of damn times, right? But if you go there and, balancing the neutrons and electrons and everything like that, when you go there and that water comes around you, it intensifies, it amplifies what the grounding process that you're trying to do. And a lot of people don't know that. So it's best to do that. I think earth is number 2, the regular way that most people does. Of course, asphalt and stuff is not going to do it, but there's different ways to ground. But those are the actual number 1 and number 2 ways to ground. And I didn't want you to miss that because Star pointed it out with the water. So that's definitely a beautiful, great thing. You know. So,
And we
and
kind of went down a rabbit hole this week with the videos that we watch, and maybe Zoe can post it for you too, giving an explanation on the importance of your physical vessel. See, a lot of the times, people don't understand why, when you're on your spiritual journey, there is the suggestion that you monitor what you intake, meaning what you eat, what you watch, what you listen to, what you surround yourself or whom you surround yourself by, because energy transfers and you're feeding yourself energy. Now, part of that is the fact that sometimes we don't fully comprehend the spiritual connectedness of our physical vessel and the importance of our physical vessel in our spiritual journey. So traditionally, for those that are of Native American, American Native, let me correct that, American Native and African descent, our people understood the importance of the spinal column. And so oftentimes you'll see the movement. It can be snake-like, it can be gyrating, but outsiders looked at that in a sexual manner because, of course, they're in their lower chakras and not understanding the importance of the spinal column. But most importantly, the importance of your sacrum and your coccyx bone. We just
specifically.
learned,
Yeah.
we just learned that that is the seat and the grounding of your soul into your vessel. That is the
Yes.
fucking seat. So when we're moving that, whether it be in the African dances, whether it be in the Egyptian belly dancing, whether it be in the Native American dances, stomping of the feet, that's gyrating that particular area and that bone, because that helps to open up a divine portal once that energy is balanced with your heart portal, because your heart is a vortice, and then you bringing it up to your pineal. Because everybody's focused, oh, just open up your third eye. Just open up your third eye. Oh, just focus on your heart. Just focus on your heart. And you're forgetting you have to coordinate all three. There's like the mushroom shirt with the mushroom vest and the mushroom tie. You got to
Yeah.
coordinate
Gotta
all of them.
coordinate. Yeah. Because it's about alignment, having all three in alignment with one another. But we so tend to focus, like Star said, on our pineal, on our third eye, as if that is the awakening. It's a part of it. But the pure core essence of awakening, especially if you study the traditions of, like with the African descent and everything that like Star mentioned, there's modalities for those who are familiar with things like Kundalini or just anything of that nature. Some people try to say Reiki, but more of Kundalini, and not to get off into that. But the whole idea of the process of that starts at your sacrum. Your sacrum is your true awakening. That's why it's called Sacrum, because it's sacred. That's your sacred port or portal, and where your soul sits. It's not sitting at your third eye. Like you said with the Jacob's ladder, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to ascend and climb the ladder from the top of the ladder. This is the target and the goal you have to go to. Yes, and when it comes down to the third eye, you want to decalcify, the pineal gland. But when you focus up here, and this is all you focus on, and you don't focus on the rest, especially the sacrum, you wonder why there's partial things. You wonder why you may feel something, but you kind of half in and half out. A lot of sacredness in the sacrum is more than you can ever imagine. And that's where, the energy is core, the soul seat sits there. And there's a lot of work to be able to wake that up, because the idea of waking it up, right, is to use the sacred fluid or the cerebral fluid and ascend that to the pineal gland. That's the awakening and ascension of all of it. But we start here, and we think just because we decalcified our pineal gland that, oh, we're all good, we're awakening, we can see things and all. It's like, yeah, but that's like like what is those, like when you get a little bit of it and you realize there's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's the tip of the iceberg. That's the, you thinking you got, oh, I got a worm, and it turns out to be a tail of a freaking monster that's 30 feet. That's the tip of the stuff right here. It's like, yeah, you got a sprinkle, you
Yeah.
got this, but the resonant and everything all sits and in the sacrum. And once you activate that, you'll realize your vessel in particular, not just your soul, but everything about you activates and awakens in a way you never thought was possible. Because now this is where people start to get, you know, I don't want to say,
Kundalini.
well, I could say concerned, no more like concerned or worried or I don't know ish type of thing. Because when they see these activations take place, especially done correctly, they start to look at them like puppeteers. They start to look at them as if like somebody's controlling. It's like, no, it's your spirit awakening. But to tie it into what we're talking about, it's vital for grounding. You have to ground here, connecting to Mother Earth, being able to, sit, and, the coccyx tail is like you're anchoring in. You have to, like I said, you have to go down first. Like they say, it's going to get worse before it gets better. You have to go down first. You cannot I don't care what nobody tell you. And this is the reason, and you ain't got to take my word for it. Just look at the results. Just because you can wiggle and tickle don't mean that you can ascend. And then you wonder why it's not much. And then you start to see real ascension and you start to miss things because a lot of people want to skip steps. They just want to get to the destination. They just want to,
Yeah.
you just want to be able to say they can do it if they're trying to monetize off of it or whatever it is. But I said it before that you're missing a key point. It's about you going within you to work outwardly, right? And you can't ascend without grounding because, like one of the videos they mentioned, they said and stated ascension without grounding is unstable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Ascension without grounding is a nightmare because it's not about ascending, it's
Mm-hmm.
about creating the capacity to maintain the ascension. So, what
Mm-hmm.
good is it ascending when you're going to fall right back down because you don't ground? You don't have that anchor. You need the anchor. Is above, so below. You need both. And most people subconsciously, even though it's conscious, they don't think about it. It's more subconsciously feel or think that all they need to do is just go up. They just think, it's just Superman. Oh, there's a sun. And it's like, yeah, you can jump, but guess what? Your ass gonna fall right back down. You know why your ass gonna fall back down? Because you skipped a step, dumbass. You're supposed to ground first
Yeah.
so you can ascend even higher and maintain and stabilize the
Mm-hmm.
higher frequencies, dimensions, and ascensions of what you start to obtain and start to live. But you can't do that. That's why. That's why.
Think about it
And
like a tree that's not firmly rooted. First storm comes, them bitches fall.
exactly.
And they often fall without anybody hearing them fall.
Mhm.
Now think about that. You see a
Mhm.
lot of people at the height and from the outside looking in, you think they're at the height of their spiritual journey. They have mastered it, blah, blah, blah. And then you see them just disappear. And sometimes we take that as, okay, they're taking a hiatus. They're taking the time to go within. And for some people, that's true. Some beings, that's true, but not all. Some people
Not
fall. And when
most.
you fall fucking hard.
Yeah, not
And
most,
if
because
you've ever
most
heard a
people,
tree
mhm,
fall, that bitch is loud
yeah,
when it
yeah,
falls in the forest. So you have to definitely make sure you ground. Um, I wanted to share my personal experience with not being grounded. So I think I mentioned, when we were kind of going over introductory, that this ain't my first rodeo. I've been here multiple times before. I've tapped into multiple of my other timelines. And this time around, I decided I wanted to be half in, half out. What I mean by that is that my essence, my being did not want to fully sit and be seated in this physical vessel, in this avatar. So
where's
I
that seed
knew that
again?
I did not want to be fully seated in this physical vessel. So I was kind of like, I'm half here, but not really. And how that translated was into a disconnect with my physical vessel, a loss of feeling, a loss of senses, a loss of sensation, especially in my lower chakras, the root and sacral chakra. There was just complete numbness there. Like it's non-existent. So to further go into that, when it comes to intimacy, there was a numbness there too. There was the physical pleasure, but there was a numbness and an emotional detachment and numbness that resonated in my sacrum, in my sacral chakra, in my root chakra, because I didn't want to fully be here. It also halted me in my ascension and my growth because I'm like, I don't really want to be. I'm here because I got a job to do. I really don't want to fucking be here. And now I didn't realize that that was the exact case until one of my spiritual sisters was looking in on me. And she was like, you fucking half in, half outside your body. Like your spiritual essence, like the waist is at your head. So she was like, I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I had to pull your ass down and kind of like tie your feet to make sure your ass stay in your body. Cause I don't know what would happen. Now I do know what happened because I made the purpose to spiritually leave my vessel. And when I did that, and this happened just recently because I was like, I'm just tired of the bullshit. I'm out. And how that translated was that there was an empty void in my heart chakra when I left. I felt that I knew that I was gone because I said, I'm out. I don't want to play this game anymore. So what that did to the physical version of me, that left my heart chakra void. And there was such intense sadness that I could not stop crying. I'm sitting here singing to myself to console myself while crying at the same goddamn time, feeling this immense, intense emptiness. I
Yeah.
said, what the fuck is going on? So I talked to my sister, a different spiritual sister. She's like, God damn it. Who told you to fucking leave? She was like, you chose to come down here. Your ass is going to stay down here and finish this mission. I was like, I can change my mind at any goddamn time I want to. She's like, yeah, that's true. And then, of course, my spiritual family is like, you, the one that's going to be upset with you for not finishing your mission. Not anybody else, you. So my sister, she's like, God damn it, get your ass back down here. You're not leaving me to do this shit by myself. She's like, God damn it, if you don't ground back in your body. I said, okay, I'm coming back. But so for those of you that feel disconnected from your physical vessel, spiritually, that's probably what you're processing mentally, is that you're here, you just don't really want to be here. You're here for a mission. You don't mind doing the mission, but you don't want to do the mission fully submerged and inverse into this experience. So you're half in, half outside your vessel. And in order for us to fully do what we need to do, in order for us to fully unlock our spiritual gifts, because that's important, we have to ground. We have to ground. We have to fully be seated in our physical vessels, knowing that this is not all there, or remembering that this is not all there is. This is just an experience, and we're using this avatar, this meat suit, in order to do that. Ground.
And
For
if I
those
could
of
take that a
you,
little
and
further. Oh,
oh,
go ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
I'm not done.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
done.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm sorry.
Because as I was mentioning, my difficulties and disconnect with my vessel, and that translated to intimacy, meaning sexuality, meaning sex. So when you're having sex, you're not realizing that you're potentially opening portals subconsciously. And so if you've ever heard of sex magic, that's what it is. You're opening a portal for manifestation purposes. Some people do use it for manipulative purposes, and that's their prerogative. But when you are fully focused, present in your sexual activity, and both you and who you're engaging in are both knowledgeable, when you're engaging in those sacrum activities, not just for pleasure, but for the spiritual sacredness of it, you both can open up a portal to manifest what it is that you want to manifest. You can't do that if you're not fully seated in your vessel. You can't do that if you're not grounded completely and sending that energy up versus spilling it out, having a release. You can't do that in that death culture. And so that's where Tantra comes from the East. When they're speaking about tantric sex, or white tantra as they specify. Because what you're doing with that sacred sexual energy, which is creative energy, which is very powerful, one of the most powerful energies that there is, which is where, again, that Kundalini energy comes from, your Pingala and your Inga, if your Inga and your Pinga. Forgive me, my Eastern brothers and sisters, for jacking the
I can look it up.
pronunciation of that. But
Yeah.
those two snakes that swirl up, that's your masculine, your feminine energy. That's your Inga and your Pingala energy that is seated there at your sacrum. So in Tantra, you're activating that energy and you're focusing on activating that energy. Yes, you're getting an immense, intense amount of pleasure from it. But when you're ready to open that portal, you're not releasing it outward. You're not ejaculating. You're sending that energy up that sacred ladder into the heavens, which is your mind. And you want to talk about a massive, powerful orgasm? What the fuck? Do that. Do that. Because it's not just for, like, for the men, it's not just about being able to hold your life force, because your sperm is your life force. And when they were talking about, what's the term they use in Christianity, where they're talking about how Jesus got here? God damn it, I can't remember. Immaculate conception. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
immaculate conception is not about not having sex at all, right? Because we know better. God damn it. Immaculate conception was doing it at a specific time where there was specific astrological alignments. And when the two came together, only one seed was released from the male to fertilize that egg. That is what immaculate conception is about. Because for our men, when you spill your seed, you're spilling your life force. You're just giving that shit away. That's why you feel death afterwards. That's why you feel
Touch, death,
tired.
all that. Mm.
You don't feel attracted to that individual anymore. That the game is over. It's just like, oh, I'm done. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah,
But
ready for them to go.
when you send that energy upwards and you hold your life force sacred within you, that creates a whole nother intense experience that a lot of men don't get to experience because they're not taught that.
Tag
They're
me in.
taught, oh,
Tag me
just
in.
bust a nut. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Tag me
ahead.
in this motherfucker's right here. Right here.
Go ahead.
Tag me in.
Same thing for women, but go ahead.
Look here, goddammit. So, for men, when it comes down, you have not been taught to ascend your ejaculation, right? But because your mentality, or by default, your mentality is going to be like, what's the purpose of not coming? That's the best part. When you ascend up versus spilling out, you actually is more intensifying sending it up than spilling it out. We're so used to the sensation of spilling it out. But when you send it up, it's still an orgasm that you feel. But there's a difference. When you send it out and just let it rain, okay, that's where, like Star said, that death comes. I'm ready for it. It goes. You want to hold? I'm good. Because that moment, that life force that you're ready to send out is out. You know, you got it. But when you send it up, what you're not understanding, it's still equivalent to the feeling that you sent out, but it's amplified within you. And the benefit of that is you get another charge. It's like you get a second win. It's like you ready for round two immediately. You're stronger in your, erection, even stronger. You're like, oh my gosh, it got stronger, right? Oh, now you really about to go ham. And then it's like it starts over and it creates this loop of you feeling great. And like, I don't know, it like brings the beast out because now you send it up and you're energized and you're like, oh, well, men know, when it's like, you don't even understand what's about to happen. You know when you about to tear something fucked up. You know. Imagine having that on repeat. What's the pleasure of like, oh, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the pleasure of all? But it's still within you. And now you're like twice. It's twice amplified. It's twice, and it builds up, right? So then you talking about when you do, because of course it sends up and it's not like it's gone. Oh, it's in the brain. I can't do it. No, you're in the loop. You're in the loop. And then when it comes again, send that back up. Yeah. Now it's like, oh, I'm really in a loop. I'm really in a loop. It keeps going like that to the point when you're ready to send one out. You talk about a Kamehameha whale. You talking about, I'm ready for my anime. You talking about, you'll send somebody across the room. You understand me? Pure energetic force flying.
Oh.
Right? So, what needs to be taught and what needs to be done is to understand, and this is what they call semen retention.
Mm-hmm.
Practice that. But that's just the physicality portion of it. It's just the physicality retention of it. When you learn how to access and activate
Mm-hmm.
your sacrum and activate your Kundalini, activate whatever word you want to call it, your masculine and your twin snakes, the masculine and feminine. When you learn how to activate and operate from that
Mm-hmm.
in intercourse, and you know how to do semen retention, you talk about monster. And come to tantra. There's multiple. There's white tantra, there's red tantra, and there's black tantra. The black one's the one they want you to stay away from, okay? Because that's more of like spellish, all that stuff. But when you do that, and both of y'all, you can have a powerful orgasm without even penetration. Now,
Yep.
I know a lot of y'all say, what the hell good is that? Why would I want to be able to have an orgasm without being able to do it? Because you're so brainwashed into the goddamn regular thing, dumbass, that you don't even know. First of all, let's really get into it. Foreplay is dead. Nobody's trying to do foreplay anymore. Everybody's trying to get straight to the point because attention, the deficit, like nobody got the attention. They want to just get to it, get done with shit, feel good. Thank you. I see you
PTSD.
tomorrow type shit.
What's that?
Right? But, men, if you know how to activate your Kundalini, and she knows how to activate the Kundalini, you talking about intense. I mean, imagine a staring contest of arousal. And the more you stare, the more aroused you get. And then all of a sudden you realize you're naked. I came over with a darn comforter, coat, sweater. How did all this get off? I don't remember, because I never finished locking eyes. But, all jokes aside, that creates the foundation of the manifestation of what's going on, because women specifically in this area have something that's super sacred. They're the portal. the super sacred that only they have. Okay, and I ain't gonna go too dark because I'll let Star explain that if she want. But me speaking specifically for the men, you have to learn and understand the more you deplete your life force, the quicker you are literally destroying you. This is where your life shortens because you're expelling your life force. You start degenerating. You start, the longer you go, the longer you live, your body starts kind of cracking down
Mm-hmm.
because of the amount of the life force you gave, because you're that's on repeat. You just destroy yourself, destroy yourself, destroy yourself, destroy yourself. But if you learn how to utilize that life force to amplify you, to regenerate you, to rejuvenate you, like you can, as far as much as you give it out, it can be destroyed. You can replenish yourself by learning how to have it within and go upwardly within yourself. But the sacred part about it is it starts with your sacrum, which
Mm-hmm.
all of it, you don't understand how sacred your sacrum is. And it's essential to grounding. Even when you're doing Kundalini, really Kundalini is done while grounding with each other.
Yeah.
If you're sitting, you imagine Indian style, y'all sit Indian style, interlock, your legs is like the Kundalini snakes around you, right? Her coccyx bone, where the soul sees, and my coccyx bone, the male's coccyx bone, where both coccyx bones are
Mm-hmm.
rooted in the ground. They're rooting down,
Mm-hmm.
creating the foundation together, rooting down to Mother Earth, right? Well, that's if you're on the ground, the bed is kind of, but even energetically, you can still kind of. But when you do that and you learn how to intertwine and hold each other, I mean, look, Tantra Lab, you see what they did.
Yeah.
Learning how to intertwine and hold each other like that, you're amplifying and creating a magnetic a field with
Mm-hmm.
both of you, right? Like two double balanced feminine and masculine. Now it's four, you know what I'm saying? Coming, and it creates a greater force. And it's just something that I wish. I mean, I don't care if y'all do it, huh? I know how to. That's all that matters to me. But y'all want something to experience and really take not just it to another level, energetically, within love and everything that you talk about creating bond,
Yeah.
attachment, to get, oh my goodness, there's no other place. But man, you have to learn that practice semen retention, understanding how to activate your, for lack of vocabulary to kind of help everybody, Kundalini, but learn how to activate your sacrum and learn how to ground are the key things to really take you physically, spiritually, mentally at a whole nother level. Even when you ground, like the last episode, we talked about shadows, and I know Star mentioned void, but one of the powerful tools that I don't believe we spoke in that as to help you process through trauma, because trauma is also likes to sit in this sacrum.
Yeah.
It also likes to be the seat of a lot of stuff that happens, but we just use trauma as an example. The best way to get rid of that or process through is to simply ground. Give it back to, give it back to Mother Earth. If you
And see that
ground more, you'll go ahead, go
the,
ahead.
the the unique thing that we don't correlate or put together is that when a lot of people are going through trauma, what's one of the most popular escape mechanisms? It's sex. Somebody just died. Oh, I want to fuck. My boyfriend or girlfriend just broke up with me. Oh, I'm just gonna go fuck somebody else.
It's
I
used,
just
yeah.
lost my job. I'm gonna go drink and then I'm gonna go fuck.
Got a divorce.
And and
Fuck.
and what you don't realize you're doing is that you're passing that trauma through that energetic cord to that other person because you don't understand what you're doing. You're just like, I need a release. I need to let go. So I'm gonna use my genitals to just escape. And yeah, you get to escape momentarily, just in that moment, however long you last, but you still this it's still sitting there. And now not only is it sitting with you, you didn't transfer some of that shit to your partner. So now whoever your partner is, they got to carry your bag of shit too, because you didn't know how to deal with it. You didn't know how to properly alchemize that energy with your sacrum and your external physical organs, that now you just wanted to share your trauma with somebody else. They say misery loves company, right?
Trauma bonding.
Misery loves fucking company. And so
Mm-hmm.
to go back really quick, because I know we were talking about, hold that thought, don't forget it. I know we were talking about the men, and with us as women, when we are grounded, not only are we able to orgasm by ourselves, even without stimulating our clitoral muscle or penetration, we can climax without all of that, with just the focus. But if we are with a partner and we are grounded in our sacrum energy, when we open a portal, we feel that shit. The only way that I can explain it is like you feel like a whole fucking cosmic universe opens from your sacral energy, and it expands up to your heart, up to your mind. And when you're in that state, you're still feeling the sensual pleasure from what they're doing, whether they're penetrating you, whether they're stimulating your clitoral muscle internally, externally, whatever. You still feel that pleasure. But then there's a sacred trance that you're in. And in that, you both can focus on manifesting what it is that you want, because now the fucking portals are open. Our vaginal canal, our vulva, is the entry into this manifested realm, into this being. So whatever you want to bring down to this motherfucker, you can do that while you are in the sacred act of connection, of intercourse. It's called Enter the Course because our channel is the course that is being entered into. Our room, our area is a sacred vessel that's used. And then when we understand the sacredness of that, we're not so willing to have everybody enter. We're not so willing to have any and everybody open that portal either, or to be manipulated, or to have our energy sucked from us, or to be used as a washing machine. Because essentially that's another reason why women are used as a spiritual washing machine, because we absorb. You don't have to be a natural empath to absorb another's energy. We will absorb that shit once you enter into that portal. But again, once you're grounded, as women, we know how to spiritually cleanse ourselves, not just physically, but we also know how to utilize that energy to manifest beautiful things in this life, to co-create with our sexual partners. Beautiful things, preferably. Not destruction, not chaos. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that use it for that. You can see it in our culture. All they talk about is that. And you're not supposed to stay there. You're supposed to bring that energy to the heavens.
Pure consciousness.
But again, you're not grounded there. You only see it as the physical pleasure. You only see it as sex. You only see it as a release, or a way to let go, or a temporary way to escape, or a way to manipulate or control, or a way to reproduce. You see it just as that, not the spiritual implications and the powerfulness behind the act itself, or the proper way to utilize your sacred energy. Yeah. Tagging you back in.
Oh, and I was thinking about, two things. One, trauma bonding is what majority go through. And knowing that trauma sits at the sacrum, which is your most sacred of all sacredness bones. And people who think about intercourse, I bet you don't even think that your sacrum is involved. I bet you think it's just pure genital, men, you get an erection, and, women as a whole. But you don't understand that
It's all
everything
connected.
about it is all connected. So when you think about intercourse, bonding itself, just bonding, that's a
Mm-hmm.
bond. You bond through intercourse.
Yeah.
But don't forget your trauma also sits where your bondage usually takes place
So
in
you're
that
just
same
tying cords
region.
around that
So
shit.
when you think about trauma bonding, yeah, digging it out. If you got trauma here and then you bond with somebody and it's an energetic exchange
Mm-hmm.
as well as a sacred dance of
Mm-hmm.
the sacrum and manifest, and especially if you have kids and you manifest a child together with chromosomes coming together and you create life and boom, 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 everything is like this. You tie knots and shit, and then for just a moment of release because you want to get rid of your trauma, you want to get rid of your
Mm-hmm.
what's hurting you. This is why, like Star said, this is a form of release, which we like to say let go. You want to let go, you want to get rid of it, you want to suppress it, but
But
when you
no,
suppress
I
everything you
use the
do,
term releasing on purpose because you
yeah,
are locking in.
releasing, yeah, you're right, you are
You're
releasing.
holding
So
on to that trauma and you're bringing
yes,
somebody else with it.
you absolutely.
So that's why I
I know
didn't
that's gonna
use
be
let go
recorded.
because you ain't letting shit go.
Yeah, you ain't letting it go at all. Even though your intentions is to, but you are releasing, rebonding. She said it perfectly. Rewind that shit. So, so that's another thing that hit me is like, wow. When all you really need to do, if you want to release, go fuck it, whatever you want to fuck, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I won't say whatever, but go ahead, do that. But if you want to let go, if you want to not deal with and process through and not carry that,
Mm-hmm.
the correct form in our perspective and from what we read is to give that to Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is routine that
Mm-hmm.
sacredness, sacrum cox into the planet and
Ooh.
alchemizing it there.
So I want to share something that I just experienced.
Mhm.
I was doing it was just a simple sacred sanctification prayer from Samuel B. Lee. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he teaches you how to get back to your higher self or to bring your higher self here into this experience so that you can be in your crystallized vessel, right? You can be your Christ like self. And
Mhm.
so I was doing that prayer, but I was invited by this oak tree that I have that has like it has a root that sits over across another root, which is a perfect seat for me. And the sun was shining just on that particular spot. Like it was kind of like an invitation, like, come to me, come to me. So I go and I'm sitting there and I'm doing this prayer, this sanctification prayer. And I can feel myself tapping into the tree, grounding through the tree, through its roots, through its mycelium network. And I'm like, oh, this shit is powerful. So for those of us that are priests and priestesses of Mother Earth, and we're assisting in her ascension just as well as every being that's on or within her, if you want a powerful way to assist with your prayers, your manifestations, your meditations, do it with coordination of a sacred tree. All trees are sacred. You just have to ask their permission to do it. Because what they're going to do is through their mycelium network, they're going to connect these prayers, these words, the vibration that you're sending out into all of the trees, through all of Mother Earth, above and below. So you want to amplify the prayer. You want to assist in grounding and being that bridge between heaven and earth. Do that sacred ritual with a tree, or whatever it is your practice as a priest and priestess of Mother Earth. And I'm specifically speaking to those that know that they're priests and priestesses of Mother Earth. When you're doing that with Mother Earth, do it with a tree.
Definitely. And, with the tree and tapping in, a lot of times you may think it's like, okay, if I sit here and I'm standing, I'm rooting and whatever, how do I do it? By being
Mm-hmm.
present. Just sit your ass down. Your body's already fucking designed to do it. You just have to do it. And
And tap
ask,
in
for the tree, for the position, tap in to your inner self and it'll take care of your
and ground.
body. And ground and sit there. Your vessel is way more smarter than you give it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
How sacred and how amazing your vessel truly is,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't understand. You just think it's a meat suit. It's your temple. All your sacredness is within here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you need, the kingdom is within you.
Yep.
From the 33 vertebrae. Santa, well, I'm not even going to go into Christmas, whatever. But through the sacredness, ascension to heaven, pure consciousness doesn't start here, it starts down there. And
Yeah.
once you understand how to go within, once you understand that
Understand.
everything's connected, understand
And
as
then
you understand
overstand.
the grounding,
Yeah.
right? And then overstand all the stands, okay? All the stands, okay? Once you cohesive or coordinate everything together and understand everything is one, then you
Mm-hmm.
understand what it means to be pure or oneness. It gives you that not even the trans, it gives you the alignment to your pure self as the creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we've talked about many times before. But grounding is essential. Your sacrum is essential. Your coccyx bone that nobody, a lot of people got their coccyx bone broke off. And that's an interesting question, which I'm pretty sure energetically is still there, but people do not give enough credit to their vessel, to their meat suit, to their skeletal system, to your networking system. You already, you're 80% water. You have an electrical system within our body for a reason. Is what keeps your heart beating. Is that electrical system, because our hearts are pumps. You know what I'm saying? Or is a valve. Our lungs are pumps, but our heart's a valve, right? To go through. Think of it. And I'm not going all of it. But once you start implementing this as a ritual, one thing you can do is start in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Before you reach for your phone, before you fully get up, before you get both eyes open, you can sit with yourself, go within your sacredness of yourself, be gratitude, be grateful, and just have a moment. And you can ground right then, just laying down with the intentions of
Yep.
imagining roots from your tailbone just going into the ground and just saying thank
Into the
you,
heart of Mother
and
Earth.
into the heart of Mother Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and just letting go with gratitude, with love of everything, and starting off your day at an amazing way. And then you
Yeah.
can end it. Whatever you accumulate at the day, you can, at the end of the day, before you lay down, do it again,
You can ground and
right?
let go. Yep.
Ground and let go. Try to walk more barefoot around. That way you can ground without even intentionally grounding. You just walk around. That's how easy it is. And we don't do that. We got
Go
heels
for a
on,
walk on
shoes.
go for a walk on the beach
Let's go for a walk.
barefooted. And that's
The
a
beach,
powerful
bro.
grounding area, which is why you see a lot of
Oh.
people want to live by the ocean because they understand
Mm-hmm.
the energy exchange.
And they understand.
It's
Mm-hmm. The energy.
tranquil.
Yes.
It's
And you'll
transmuting.
find.
It's
Mm-hmm.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful
They don't.
energy there.
People by the beach don't have that many problems. Not saying they don't, but people by the beach, the ones that's not by the beach is the one trying to destroy everything. The ones by
Yeah.
the beach are too busy,
Running or they're
running, hair in the wind,
sunbathing or
sunbathing, having a good ass time. That's why it's even looked at as the vacation. This is the life. It's not necessarily the vacation and the location 100%. It's the fact that you get to let go
yeah.
on the beach. You get
Mm-hmm.
to, you're rejuvenated. You know how you go on a vacation, go on the beach, get the beach water, and when you come back, you kind of don't want to come back because you understand the bullshit that's going on. That's one. But then when you do come back or on your way back, you feel so much better, lighter,
Yes.
clearer, like, oh my gosh, I needed that. It wasn't 100% the beach. It was you grounding, centering yourself on the
Mm-hmm.
beach.
Yep.
It's a 1-2 punch. Yes, this is the most powerful way. And when you do that, you come back with smiles and I don't want to leave because you feel good within yourself of oneness and alignment and all that shit that was getting on your nerves. If it was job, if it was kids, if it was spouse, if it was whatever the character was, you don't give a fuck what it was. When you on that beach,
Mm-hmm.
sound, peaceful,
Yes.
oneness, rejuvenated, like you're just like, I just want to be here forever, right? Because of that.
Go for a hike
Get yourself to some water. If you can't get to a beach, go for a hike. Yeah, go for a hike. Just surround yourself with
without
nature
your
and
phone
water. Yes, put the phone
or any
fucking
electronic.
down.
Put the phone down
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and listen because she will speak if you listen. You will hear your inner thoughts, your inner self, your shadow, your inner child, your highest spirit. If you walk without any distractions, just go for a walk in the woods, in the forest, at a nature park, without electronics, without your phone. Center yourself. Ground yourself internally and externally. Be stable in all your ways by grounding. Be rooted in who you are by grounding. Solidify your foundation or your new foundation because I understand when you're going through your spiritual awakening, your old foundation is shaken up and that's on purpose because you have to create a new foundation, your new truth, your new version of you. You can't put new wine in old wine skins. You can't be the new you in the old version of you. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. So yes, your foundation is going to be broken up. You're going to feel like you don't know what the fuck is going on. And that's okay. Ground. Because you got to remember your old foundation has to be torn up. Your old way of thinking has to be broken up. Your old way of being has to be shattered. Your old personality has to be destroyed in order for the new version of you to be created. And so in order for you to get through that transition, which can be uneasy, ground, just sit in silence, sit outside, process, allow yourself to process the old version of you and the new version of you, the old ways of thinking versus the new knowledge that you're receiving and how to integrate that into your being. Because it makes no sense just knowing it. Okay, yeah, you know a bunch of shit. And when you implement it, when you utilize that knowledge and put it to practice in your daily experiences, that's where the wisdom comes from. That's where the real gnosis takes root. Ground in that new foundation that you're creating by sitting with yourself in silence, and Mother Nature will aid you. You're not in this by yourself. You may not have to go or want to go to another person or have the ability to go to another person, but Mother Nature understands. Go outside. Even if you're in the middle of the fucking desert, you got the sand. And sand is perfect because it's a crystal structure. Ground in the fucking sand. If you're in the tropical rainforest and all you get is rain outside, go stand in the rain. You don't know how cleansing the rain is. And my American natives, my Mexican natives, my South American natives, they understand the sacredness of rain. When you walk in the rain, when you stand in the rain, ground in the rain, that washes so much off of you, it's not even funny. And do it barefooted. Do your sacred dances and activate those portals in the rain and watch what the fuck happens.
True cleansing.
True connectedness, true grounding. So, beloved, we love you. We enjoy and look forward to your feedback and your ascension journey. But it'll all be for naught if you don't root what you're learning in your physical vessel and to Mother Earth. Please ground. I know this shit may suck at times. And for those of us that have come back several times, we know why we're here. We just like, what the fuck? I don't really want to be here, but I got a job to do. Still ground. Because in order for us to do that job, we need to fully be present. We need to fully be here and fully in our vessels to be that bridge between heaven and earth, to be that bridge between the spiritual and the physical, to be that bridge between the different harmonic universes, the different frequencies for others to pass through. Yes, we are here by ourselves. Yes, we're doing it for us, but we're also doing it for everybody else. So don't forget that. Please ground. Get your ass outside in some salt water, fresh water too. Remember your roots, because without your roots, you ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And there is no ascension without grounding. You only go so far and it will be unstable. When we say go sit with this, or if you go, we assume and we hope that you're sitting with this, sit with this grounding. Don't just take our word for it. I mean, this is a conversation to help spark how to go deeper within you. But the true teacher to give you all the knowledge you need is waiting for you to sit with her. She's waiting and would love to teach you. All you have to do is sit down. You're grounded, motherfucker.
Get your ass outside and sit by a tree.
Sit down and sit down. Let me tell you something. Goddamn, you about to have a story time. It's all you have to do. Then you wonder why you got all these low back pains and shit. You wonder why. All the shit you carrying around energetically. You wonder why. You wonder the fuck why. It's so much more. Like, we ain't even get into the psoas and everything that's connected. We don't need to go all that, at least right now. Right now, it's a simple gesture, the simple message of grounding. Grounding to get rid of all the stuff that you've been carrying energetically, emotionally, and whatever the case may be. Give it to Mother Earth. Grounding and the sacredness of what one of the things that you go to, if it's intercourse and understanding the sacredness into that. Make sure you're careful. Be careful of who you're attached to, because they may just be trying to pass on trauma with trauma bonding. and getting you to bond to not just the trauma, but bonding to them with the trauma, and y'all figure out together. It's involuntary
Or
work,
they may
right?
just be trying to use your energy because we got
Yeah.
vampires.
Yeah, vampires. Yeah, to do that. But for most, or for furthermore, for the ones that's on the ascension path, ground, go down to go up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ascend from here up. You ascend from your sacrum up to here and furthermore. If you don't know how to do that, or if you don't want to do that, you'll find out the hard way. You'll find out why it's unstable. You'll find why it's not, you feel all good this 1 minute, and then the next minute is gone. And then now this Kundalini activation, you're repeating once in another class, and another class, and another session, and another session, and you're trying to do it because you're trying to stay up here, but you're not doing the groundwork to stay and operate from up here, to create the foundation, the stability and capacity to operate up here as normal, because you refuse to go down. You just want to go up. That's
And
the
a lot
problem.
of
And
people that are seeing the energy work, whether it's
mhm,
spinal attunement, spinal flow, spinal. Notice the similarities. It's dealing with your spine because that's your
mhm,
gateway, right? That's the
yep,
information spiritual highway. But
mhm,
also notice where they start. The
sacrum.
vortice at your coccyx and sacrum.
Mhm.
To get
That's the
that
main,
energy loose, that sacred, coiled, healing, powerful energy at the base of your spine is where all the wiggles and the tickles come from, as Zoe would say.
the true awakeness. The true awakening is your sacrum, not your third eye. This is pure consciousness and is a part of the alignment. But it starts, the ground starts at the fucking sacrum. I can't say that enough. Can't say that enough.
So again, folks, thank you guys for your time, for sharing your energy with us, for listening to us. We hope this helps you in your journey. We also hope that you share for those others that you know that are going through this journey or may need a little bit of encouragement. But until next time, you're grounded, goddammit.
Or get grounded or ground your goddamn self. So next time, we love you all, like Star said, and that's where that's.
Peace.